Welcome back students to a new session of language learning class. Today we are going to deal with a new topic, that is phrase and clause. First we will deal with the phrase. Normally what do you mean by phrase? Something, a group of words that doesn't give you a complete sense or complete meaning, or what you want to say is not clear. That means if I say across the bridge, now you must be having a question in your mind, who is across the bridge? What ma'am is saying about across the bridge? So I will not keep you thinking about this. I will straight go to the chapter now. What is phrase and what is clause? So first, what is phrase? Now you see one sentence I have given here. Saroj has boiled an egg in the new saucepan. Okay, new saucepan. Where do you boil the egg? That is saucepan. Okay. Now Saroj has boiled an egg in the new saucepan. Now in this, if I say Saroj has boiled an egg, this much is clear, isn't it? You must be understanding. Ma'am is saying that Saroj has boiled one egg. Okay. But if I say this part of the sentence, in the new saucepan, I will not say about Saroj has boiled an egg. I will only say in the new saucepan. What is in the new saucepan? Water is there, tea is there, vegetables are there, anything. That means what? I am giving you the information that it is a saucepan. But what is that? I am not giving you a complete meaning. That is known as the phrase. You see, Saroj has boiled an egg in the new saucepan. It expresses a single idea and does not form a complete sentence. Okay. Also, it does not have a subject. From here, if I say in the new saucepan, it expresses only a idea. Okay, and it does not have any subject or a finite verb. In the new saucepan has no finite verb. Now what is finite verb? Again another thing. Finite verb means a main verb. Okay. Now, for example, I live in Paradeep. Now here the main verb is live. I am giving you the complete information that I live in Paradeep. Now, a group of, so we can conclude a phrase that a phrase is a group of words that expresses an idea but doesn't form a complete sentence. Okay, it gives you certain idea but it doesn't give you the complete information, or it doesn't give you a complete sentence. That is known as phrase. Now, phrases are classified into different forms. Now, what are the classifications I am giving you? You see. Okay. Now, phrases are classified on the basis of their function. On their function in a sentence. Now, what are the function you see? We are having three types: noun phrase, adjective phrase and adverb phrase. First, we will start with the noun phrase. Now, phrases that do the work of a noun are called noun phrase. And they can act as a subject as well as the object, or the object in a object of a verb in the sentence. It can act as a subject or the object of a verb in the sentence. For example, watching horror films is my favorite pastime. Now, watching horror films, what did I say? It can act as a subject. Second one, you see, they are playing with the cat. It can also act as the object of a verb. They are playing. This is verb. Which is object here? Cat. किसके साथ खेल रहे हैं? Billy के साथ खेल रहे हैं. So they are playing with the cat. This is acting as a object of a verb in the sentence. Watching horror films is my favorite pastime. It is acting as a subject of the sentence. Now we will be dealing with the adjective phrase. Adjective phrase, phrases that do the work of an adjective are called adjective phrase. That means the thing from which we get information regarding the adjective, which does the action of the adjective. Now you see, for example, the shoes have laces made of satin. What is the thing? We can say when it gives certain more information. You see here, the shoes have laces made of satin. This is adjective phrase. We can say made of satin. The dancer was wearing earrings made of copper. So this is adjective phrase. Now adverb phrase, what is adverb phrase? Same thing, phrases that do the work of an adverb. That is called your adverb phrase. Now you see, what is an adverb phrase? Now the adverb phrase, as I said, phrases that do the work of an adverb is called adverb phrase. For example, the woman spoke in a stern manner. Now if you see the woman spoke, is it okay? It is okay, the woman spoke. Which manner? What was the way? In which way the woman spoke? That is in a stern manner. This gives the idea the way the woman spoke. The boy dances in a funny way. This is known as a adverb phrase because it gives more information. How did the boy dance? So the phrases that do the work of an adverb is called adverb phrase. Now we are going for a next part, that is a clause part. What are the clauses? What are the different types of clauses? We will be dealing with the clause part now. Now what is clause, or what do we mean by clauses? A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a finite verb. Finite verb means, previously I told you, finite verb means main verb. It makes complete sense on its own. So clause means it is a group of words that has a subject and a finite verb, that is main verb, and it makes complete sense on its own, means it has its own meaning. For example, the students are eating their lunch. Now here in this sentence you see you have subject as well as a finite verb, that means main verb. This is subject and this is main verb, we can say. This leaf has beautiful patterns on it. Now here also you have a subject and you have a main verb, that means it has beautiful patterns on it. Now if we see the division or the classification of the clauses, clauses have two types, that is main clause and a subordinate clause. Main clause means it is independent clause and subordinate clause means it is dependent clause, that means it has to depend on the main clause, that is independent clause. Further we will see, now what do you mean by the main clause or the subordinate clause? Now see, a simple sentence that can stand on its own or has a complete meaning or which gives you the detailed information is called independent or main clause. For example, Simran is stitching a handkerchief. I am giving you the total information. Who is stitching? Simran is stitching. What Simran is doing? Simran is stitching. Now what Simran is stitching? Simran is stitching a handkerchief. I am giving you the entire information. That means it needs no other things to give the information about the girl Simran. For example, the boys were working in the kitchen. Who were working? The boys were working. What were the boys doing? Boys are working. Where were the boys working? The boys are working in the kitchen. So entire information is there in the full sentence. A subordinate clause has an object and a verb. As I said before, subordinate clause is a clause that can stand on its own and requires an independent clause to convey the complete thought. ये अपने आप में एक अधूरा सा चीज है. A subordinate clause has a object and a verb. Now see, if I say who works in a factory, what do you understand from this thing? Who works in a factory? No information is there. If I say, for example, I stayed with my aunt who works in a factory. Now you see, who works in a factory is a subordinate clause. Why? Because it is dependent upon this main clause. Okay. Who works in a factory? Aunt. Who is that? I stayed with my aunt who works in a factory. Now you see, when he returned home, who returned home? Whose home? No information there. If I say, Rohan found his books torn when he returned home. Now see, when he returned home, this is subordinate clause. And which is the main clause here? This is the main clause. That means ये अपने आप को समझाने के लिए इसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. When he returned home, कौन रिटर्न किया? रोहन रिटर्न किया. क्या उसका हुआ? रोहन found his book's torn when he returned home. Now this all were about your clauses we were talking. इसके बाद हम लोग चलेंगे types of subordinate clauses. Now see, subordinate types of subordinate clause. Similar, same way, noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. Noun clause means I have already told you, the clause that works as a noun is known as a noun clause. That works as an adjective, it is known as an adjective clause. But whereas adverb clause is something new for you, so I will explain that first. Adverb clause. Now when adverb clause are of 5 kinds. Now first is manner. Manner means it answers the question how. When you ask a question how, you get the adverb clause answer. Okay. It is asking the question how. Now he spoke as if he knew it all. So if I ask how did he speak? He spoke as if he knew it all. That means it is an adverb clause of manner. He was talking to me as if he was angry with me. How was he talking to me? He was talking to me. I cannot say why he was talking. I have to ask how was he talking. He was talking to me as if he was angry with me. This is now done with manner. Now we are coming for place. What is place? When we ask the question where, we get an answer of place. Wherever there are children, there will be noise. Where there will be noise? Wherever there are children. The place where children are there will be a noise. Wherever there is a will, there is a way. Okay, if you want to do something, you can do. So now place means where, manner means how. Now we are coming for reason, that is very simple, why. Why question, if you are getting the answer, then that is for the reason, that is adverb clause. Now I saved money so that I could travel. I am giving you the reason why I have saved money. I saved money so that I could travel. She didn't come to my party because she had to go to her aunt's. Aunt's means aunt's place or aunt's house or aunt's party. So I can question, why didn't she come to my party? She didn't come to my party. Why didn't you come to my party? Answer is because she had to go to her aunt's. So here reason we are getting if you are asking a question why. Now how, where and why. That is manner, place and reason is over. After this we will be giving for the condition. What are the things for the condition? Now time. When we are talking about the time, if you ask a question when, then you can get the answer for this time adverb clause. For example, after the students go home, the school is cleaned. When is the school cleaned? After the students go home. So I am asking a question here. When the school is cleaned? It is cleaned after the students go home. Now next is condition. That means it shows a condition. If we don't leave now, we will be late. Now I am keeping a condition here. That means we have to start early if we don't want to be late. So if we don't leave now, we will be late. Another one you see, if they don't come tomorrow, they will not understand what is taught to them. This is another thing you see. Reason, condition is kept. That means you have to come tomorrow. If you are not coming tomorrow, you cannot understand what is taught in the class. Now concession means conveys the unexpected. Means, see here two things I am showing you. Knife is small and another quality is sharp. So one drawback we can say, rather the knife is a small one, small knife, but still it is very sharp. So it is giving you one unexpected thing. Though the knife is very small, still the sharpness is there. अब knife छोटे होने के बावजूद भी वो sharp है. Now you see here, time is over when you are asking a question when. When we are keeping a condition, it gives you the condition, that is adverb clause again here. We are coming for concession, that means it gives an unexpected reason. Though the knife is small, it is still sharp. So adverb clause we have covered here. After this we will be, now this is over, we will be coming for adjective clause. Very little thing is there in the adjective clause. I will be explaining after this what is adjective clause. Now see adjective clause, these are introduced by relative pronouns such as, what are the relative pronouns you see? Who, which, whom, whose and that. These are the relative pronouns. It is in adjective clause is introduced by these things. Okay. And related adverbs such as, what are the adverbs you see? When, where and why. Okay. Now this is why they are also called relative clauses. Since these are all relative pronouns I am talking about and relative adverbs, so adjective clause का दूसरा नाम भी हो सकता है relative clauses. Okay, for example, you see, we know the joke that you wanted to tell. Which one I have used here? You see, that I had used here. Where this that belongs to? It belongs to the relative pronoun. This is the house that caught fire last year. Again, that is there. I know the reason why you didn't like the book. This is adverb here, relative adverb. So, adjective clauses can also be called as relative clauses. Now, what are relative clauses? Second, the classification of the relative clauses I am giving you after this. What do you mean by relative clauses? Before I said that relative clauses are also known as adjective clause. So relative clauses are divided into two types. What are they? First is defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. There are two relative clauses, that is defining and non-defining. Now what is defining? As the name suggests, it defines or gives us more information, important information. For example, they are the students who were in the play we watched. That means it is about a drama. Okay, they are the students who were in the play we watched. Now if I keep this much only the sentence, if I talk about only this much, you can also understand I am giving you the example information about the students. They are the students. Finished. What more information I gave? Who were in the play we watched. Okay, last Friday. Now the underlined part of the sentence, that is who were in the play we watched last Friday, this is a relative clause and it gives us a different meaning or more information. Therefore, this relative clause is also known as a defining relative clause. That means it gives us more important information about the nouns in a sentence. Now about nouns, students. About the students. Who were the students? The students were in the play that we watched last Friday. Since it is providing you more important information about the noun, it is known as the defining relative clause. Next is non-defining relative clause. Now you see, my grandfather, who is 87 years old, is traveling to London. Nobody asked the age about my grandfather, but I am giving you more information. My grandfather, who is 87 years old. Now, who is 87 years old is a relative clause here, what I have added. Okay, excluding this also we can say my grandfather is traveling to London, but I gave you one information, and that information was regarding additional information about my grandfather. It was not so important. Though it is giving the information about a noun, it is not required. But I am giving you the additional information about my grandfather. For that reason, it is known as non-defining relative clause. Difference between relative and non-relative is defining relative and non-defining relative is, in the defining relative it gives you important information that is required. In non-defining relative clause, extra information is not required or additional information is not required, but still it is provided. Understood now? So relative clauses are divided into two types, that is defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. After this we will be coming for the if conditionals, that is conditionals, that is if clauses. Now see conditionals, that is if clauses. If you don't practice maths, you will not be good at it. I am giving you the first condition. You see, if you don't practice maths, अगर तुम खुद नहीं practice करोगे तो तुम्हारा नहीं अच्छा होने वाला है. If I had more biscuits, I would have fed the dog. मेरे पास अगर होता तो मैं कुत्ते को खिला देती. Now see, this sentence is what it talks about. It talks about the possible future situations. Okay, it is telling about the possible, होने का chances है. Depending upon certain conditions, that is known as the conditionals. Okay. If I had more biscuits, I would have fed the dog. अगर होता तो मैं ये करती. Now, a conditional always includes if clauses. Okay, if मतलब conditional आ गया. Now, conditionals कितने तरीके के हैं? Conditionals are of 4 types. The first is zero conditional, second is first conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Zero conditional means when we mention general truths or habits. General truths or habits that are sure to happen. इसमें कोई और दूसरा चांस नहीं है. It is sure to happen in particular conditions. मतलब इसके अलावा और कुछ चांस नहीं है. For example, if you heat ice, it melts. ये तो जरूरी है. कोई भी हीट करेगा आइस को तो वो पानी बनेगा. It melts. Okay. If you mix yellow and blue, you get green. You have to get green because yellow and blue mix करने से ही green मिलता है. So what did I say? It is a zero conditional when we mention general truths or habits that are sure to happen in particular conditions. Remember the word sure. It has no other chances. Now what is first conditional? You see, I will be telling now. What do you mean or what is first conditional? Now see, first conditional, we use this with sentences denoting things that might happen in the future or things that are likely to come true. हो सकता है, होने के chances हैं. Now see, for example, if I see her this evening, I will ask her to call him. मतलब अगर मैं उससे मिली शाम को तो मैं उसको बोलूँगी कॉल करने के लिए. अगर लगा if I, that means it might happen, it may not also happen. Okay. Second conditional is when we talk about the things that are impossible and not likely to happen. It is shortcut when we talk about the things that are impossible and not likely to happen. If I were you, I would help my friend who is in need. अगर मैं तुम होती, जो कभी नहीं होने वाला है. If I were you. So it is just about the things that are impossible and it is not likely to happen in your future. Third conditional we are talking, this is used to talk about the past situations जो already हो चुका है, that didn't happen, जो past में about the past situation जो कभी नहीं हुआ है, that didn't happen and their imaginary results. मतलब जो कभी नहीं हुआ है उसके बारे में, उसका रिजल्ट के बारे में हम लोग जब बात करते हैं, that means you would have forgotten about the bag if I hadn't reminded you. Not sure कि मेरे बताने के लिए तुम वेट कर रहे होगे. मैंने क्या बताया? तुम भूल गए होते अगर मैं तुमको रिमाइंड नहीं करती. That means what? It didn't happen. It is just we are talking. It didn't happen in the past. नहीं हो के अगर होता तो ऐसा होता. अगर तुम भूल गए होते अगर मैं तुमको याद नहीं दिलाती. ये नहीं हुआ है लेकिन मैंने इसको इमेजिन कर लिया कि मैं बताने से बिना बताए तुम नहीं कर सकते. So you would have forgotten about the bag if I hadn't reminded you. Now these are the first conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Before that zero conditional is told to you. After this I will be giving you only the rules where and how to find out or to make a sentence regarding first conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Now as I said, the rules are here, you see, for the zero conditional. In this, if clause is in simple present tense and the second clause is also in the simple present tense. I gave you the example. If you heat ice, it melts. Both the sentences are in, both the parts are in simple present tense. First clause in simple present and the second is also in the simple present. If you heat ice, it melts. Now, first conditional we are coming. In this, if clause is in the simple present tense. Remember, if clause is in simple present tense and the second clause is in simple future tense. First part or first if clause is in the simple present tense and the second clause is in simple future tense. For example, if I see her in the evening. If clause कौन से tense में था? Simple present tense. If I see her in the evening. Second clause क्या आ गया? Simple future tense. I will ask her. If I see, I will ask. First is in simple present. Second, that is if clause. Second clause is in the simple future. This is for the first conditional. Now second conditional, you see, in this, if clause is in the simple past tense. If clause is in the simple past tense, second clause uses would or could plus verb. If clause in simple past tense, second clause is in would or could plus verb. Okay. Example, you see, if I were you, simple past tense. If I were you, then what did I use? Would. I would help my friend who is in need. Okay. First one is in simple past tense, if clause. Second clause is in would or could plus verb. Who is in, that is help is your verb and I have used your would. Now third conditional, you see, in this, if clause is in past perfect tense. If clause is in past perfect tense. Second clause uses would have past participle, that is V3 format. If clause is in past perfect tense, second clause uses would plus have plus V3. For example, you would have forgotten about the bag if I hadn't. Now this is your if clause. If I hadn't, would or would plus have plus this one. If I hadn't reminded you, reminded is your V3 form of remind and the clause, you see, you would have forgotten about the bag. Understood now? This is if clause is in a past perfect tense. That is if I hadn't reminded you, and second clause is would plus have plus past participle, you see. Sorry children, it is not here. It is you would have forgotten. I repeat again, you just see. Third conditional is in this clause past perfect tense is here. Past perfect tense. Okay. Then we are coming for second clause. This is your, first I will make you which is the second clause and which is the if clause. This is your if clause and this is your second clause. Okay, now if clause you see, now in this if clause is your if I hadn't reminded you, that is past perfect tense, and your second clause is you would have forgotten, that is would plus have plus past participle or the V3 form. You would have forgotten about the bag if I hadn't reminded you. Is it clear? Third conditional is if in this if clause is in past perfect tense, this is your if clause, this is past perfect tense, and this is your second clause, this is in would plus have plus V3, that is your you would have forgotten, this is your V3 form about the bag if I hadn't reminded you. Now just look at this and take a snapshot, because we are concluding this lesson, or we end this lesson, that is phrase and clause, with this note with the rules of the session, and stay tuned for the next updates. We will be again back with the new lesson or the new session in the language learning class, and don't forget to subscribe, share and view the channel properly. Till then, stay tuned. I am Pallavi signing off.